The War Events Sucker Punch Enduro is a new event to the world of enduro, and with an exciting mix of traditional cross-country followed by an extreme enduro, the War Events team once again raised the bar in the enduro world, offering a tough, challenging event, and where the riders do well in the morning, they can push themselves to the limit in the afternoon race.
It's the Sucker Punch Extreme Enduro. Hare and Hounds qualified this morning in this forest with a 7-mile lap, and then this afternoon, for those that have qualified, it's over 2 miles down the road to another forest for a lap of 11 mile, which is full of surprises. It's tough. The weather's been very unkind to us for the last 3 weeks, so we're in very wet areas. But it's what it is. It's, you know, it's been advertised as an extreme enduro, so that's what it's going to be. You know, as you say, we are a multi-lap race. We usually promote multi-lap races, which the morning race is the normal Hare and Hound with 3 real snotty bits thrown in for good measure. But over there on the other lap, on the big lap that we call it, I don't really know how long it's going to take the top riders to come through. I would think about 45, 50 minutes, and then there's a half an hour cut-off point for everyone else, because the day would just drag on too long out there. You know, there's a lot of gnarly stuff. It'd be great to see the pro riders going through and how they tackle it. But on a level of extreme, you know, we've had to take some bits out that we wanted to use because of the 3 weeks of rain. It knackered the job for us over there. But what we've still put in is slow 2 mile an hour, 4 mile an hour battling through stumps and trees and clear fell. So it's certainly going to test them over there. Totally natural course. No man-made bits, following courses of streams, boggy bits, through the trees, gnarly climbs. It's proper natural stuff over there, forest going. 100 plus riders here, and you know, in the pro class there's 15 good names. You know, you've got a top 5 that stand out name-wise would be British Enduro champion Tom Sager's here. Goes well in this kind of going. Says he's not an extreme rider, but he can ride anything. The Hemingway brothers on the factory beta. Paul Bolton. Johnny Walker's here on the Red Bull KTM. You know, he's got to stand out as a favourite. Those top 5 won't be far off.
For this one, qualifying should be reasonable for them. You've got to get, I would say, 3 laps in to qualify. Shouldn't be a problem for 80% to qualify. Get through to the second one, into the second forest, all natural going, really tough towards the end, but good, rideable terrain. Where the world of extreme enduro has just gone mad in the last 2 years, it's just slowly grown, and I think it's because the riders are just looking for something different to challenge them and their bike. They've had the last 5-8 years of multi-lappers now. I'm not saying it's dead, everything has its place, but this is really special. This is, and if you can get an event where you can have spectators in, that makes it even more special. But this event is just for the riders. This is like a taste of what will come in the future, because we have more events planned in our head.
My main plans this year are to race the Super Enduro, which I'm doing at the moment. I'm lying in 3rd position, and also as many extreme races as I can. So, you know, I've fitted this one in. So it should be hopefully a good year. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the main race later on. It's only 1 lap, which is, it's going to be tricky because, you know, you're riding it blind, so you're not going to know where you're going. But it's going to be hard to push. But I don't really know what Steve's put in. I've heard a lot of things that it's going to be hard, so, you know, I'll expect the worst and hopefully it'll be easier. I think everyone's going to be good, you know, anything can happen when no one knows where they're going, so there's going to be the Hemingways, Paul Bolton, yeah, he's going to be pushing hard.
Yeah, this year I think it's to do as many of the extreme enduros as possible and try and get on the podium as many times as possible, but there's a lot of good riders this year with Nita coming into it, and obviously Lampkin, Jarvis, Johnny Walker, you know, there's some really good names there at the moment, so we'll see. I think this event's going to be very tricky. It looks very wet. It's so cold, it's unbelievable, but apparently it's going to be good, and I quite like the format. I like the way they're going to run it, so yeah, we'll see.
War Events produce an epic new event and format for the UK in Extreme Enduro, as the first running of the Sucker Punch Extreme ran in the club's awesome Landrillo Forest complex in North Wales. The event schedule had the riders signing on in the darkness of early morning, getting ready for the 1.5 hours Hare and Hounds multi-lap qualifying race that kicked off at 9 AM and would ultimately sort the riders' start grid positions for the main Sucker Punch point-to-point lap that was on offer in the afternoon session in a completely different forest. The morning event had a cracking 7 miles plus lap that would test all riders and get them raring to go for the rest of the day. Three tough sections were added to an otherwise normal Hare and Hounds enduro track, and this certainly entertained the full house of riders. Red Bull KTM star Johnny Walker was the top man in the qualifier and led the hard-charging runner-up Scott Austin, Owen Humphries, Paul Bolton and Renault Davis in that order to take the top 5 places and ensure a front row start in the main event. Over 100 riders finished and qualified for the tough event that lay ahead.
This morning's qualifying race didn't go too well for me. I've borrowed a bike because my usual bike's a 450, and for these extreme events they're not very good, so I chose to borrow a 300. I haven't had enough time to really prep it as well as I should have, and the bottom engine bolts fell out and the engine was sort of shaking me to death, so I had to stop after the first lap, borrow some engine bolts and crack on like so. I think I've qualified. I hope so, because it'll be a good bit of training for me and stuff, you know. But we'll see. Course was really good. Been nice to sort of done a few more laps, I think. I'm starting to get into it after a couple, and yeah, now I've warmed up, I don't want to stop, you know, but good race. Looking forward to this afternoon's, I don't know what you want to call it, nightmare.
Yeah, the morning race was an hour and a half, and it wasn't too difficult. There was some little hard bits, but it was mainly fire roads, so you could push hard. And I pushed hard for the first maybe 3 laps, and then just like chilled after that. So I knew I had a comfortable lead, but bike was working good, so I'm looking forward to this next race. This week I got back from Mexico on Tuesday, and like it was the first time back on the 300 in about 3 months or something. So we've done a little bit to the bike, you know, try and make it good, but they're good from standard, so we haven't changed too much. If anything, we've made it slower, so you know, more handleable.
Don't know. I'm hoping top 10, to be fair. Set off quite good, didn't get a fantastic start. Tried to jump the start button and it just stalled, so ended up going about mid-pack. But then worked my way through that, and halfway through the lap, just suffered really badly with cramp in my right arm, and I've never had that before. So my brain was telling me to go faster, but my body wasn't letting me do it. It was getting really sketchy on the fast fire roads, which are big, deep holes. But we got some good laps in, and then towards the back end, I was getting a good pace going and feeling a lot fitter and better. So I think by this afternoon, you know, we're all warmed up and ready to go. So I roughly know that we will be starting this afternoon in rows of 5 with a 30-second interval between each row. And Steve has said that he thinks that the top man will probably be about 50 minutes to an hour fully round. Once the finisher is declared, every rider will have 30 minutes to get as far as possible. When that 30 minutes is up, you'll be deemed timed out. So if you're at checkpoint 3, you arrive at checkpoint 3 and the last man's, the finisher's won, you've got 30 minutes then to get as far as you can. Now if you get to within sort of striking distance of checkpoint 4, but 30 minutes clicks over, you're then backtracked to checkpoint 3. That's how it's going to work. So it'll be interesting. It's a good football. I think it's going to be an interesting race.
So welcome back, viewers, and here we are ready for the main event. Our riders gathering down at the line at a fantastic venue here in Landrillo. Johnny Walker, winner of the qualifier there and hotly tipped favourite for this afternoon's event, talking to the Hemingways there. Steve Ireland, our race promoter as well, just making sure everything is set. Over 100 riders qualified in a very tough cross-country event this morning, but Steve not anticipating a big finish on this one. A single lap event. The first riders have just gone off, the pros. They'll all go off in their grid positions they're finishing from this morning. And Johnny Walker led the charge away. As I say, several waves. And just as soon as they get to the top of that bank, they're straight into a heavily logged area. You can see the tree stumps there. They're going to work their way through. Well, working their way down towards us. 125. Johnny Walker already out clear in front. Next rider coming down towards us, that's Ben Hemingway. Well, I say, the Hemingways and Walker will all be tipped to be at the front of the field. And rider just going through there, that's Reynolds Davis. Next rider coming through. I see on the bibs. I've got a feeling that was Owen Humphries just going through there. Not too sure, on the rider there. Couldn't make his number out as he went through. Dan Hemingway just going through. Oh, Dan Hemingway missed a gear there. Looking down at the machine. And just coming through. These are the earlier front runners as well that we're getting through before the rest of the pack start coming through. Johnny Walker now already right over the far side of the circuit. This is a very steep drop down into this, they're coming to like a river crossing over there. Instead of just crossing the river, they're going to ride along the length of it. Walker making it look very easy. Young rider just the other week, riding in Mexico in the Extreme World Enduro Series. Just popping out along that bank section there. And they've got a very, very tricky climb. I'll be very surprised if Walker makes this climb in one go here. Here he goes, start the climb, and it is very serious. And you can see all those tree stumps there, so they're going to negotiate their way through, so they can't even get a clear run at that hill. Back in the woods, some of our riders starting to come through. Number 2 there, just going through. 27 just going through by the looks of it. 22, or was that Biff Smith on the expert riders? Number 4 just going through. But there's Walker. You know, he's got to go a second go at this hill now. Walker didn't get a very good climb, just right short of the top. You can see, look at the roost coming up off that back wheel, trying everything he can, so close that even Walker having to dismount right at the top there. Oh, and Walker just got to push it there, but he's close enough now. He should just get to the top of that climb. Well, that just shows how tough that is there. One of some of the world's best riders, and the a few onlookers there just giving him a round of applause for making that 2 attempts there for Walker. Well, back in the woods, number 14, Nigel Thomas going through there. And we've got 34 coming down towards us. That's Paul Sagar, Tom's father. 20 Luke Flack going through. First of our expert riders. 21 Biff Smith coming through towards us. Biff Smith already got his goggles on the back of his helmet. Wow, back down in the valley there where we've seen Walker go through. Next of our riders coming through. That looks like Paul Bolton, 22, dropping down. And again, that's a very tricky descent. As I say, they've been heavily forested, this area, and they've just literally left the branches and all the bracken across that descent, so it can really take the front wheel. Bolton going through that section there. I think we've got Scott Austin down with us as well next. A few riders just dropping through that water section. And there is Scott Austin, number 7 on his machine, looking well ahead, trying to find that line. And you can see now the difference with Walker. A lot of those rocks in that stream will have been dislodged now. Very loose, make it even tricky for the riders as they come through further down the field. Not too sure who that rider was going through the wooded section. Single lap, so very fresh terrain for a lot of these riders that go through. There's Sam Ludgate coming towards us. I think that's 68 on his machine there. That's Ewan Rees. Number 8 just working his way through. That's Alan Jones in the pro class down in the valley. One thing with this event, the riders are certainly going to have clean boots. They've got a lot of water crossings on this particular event, as you'll see later on. And already we can see that climb that Walker was struggling with, and with absolute carnage on that bank there. And that's steam from the machines, that's the water from the radiator overflows. The rider just coming down that steep climb towards us. So see, can't try and make the number out on who we've got there from a distance. 79 I believe it was. Number 10 also just dropping down into the water. So good gaggle of riders coming through, and we was very surprised to see whether this many riders would actually make it this far. Very tough, challenging track. And don't forget, so they've already done an hour and a half this morning. One very tough, demanding hare and hounds event. And then they've got this grueling climb. One rider so close to the top there. And these guys literally manhandling the machines. And you can see some of these riders looking for any way they can to find a way out of this, trying to avoid the hill. Bikes literally strewn all along the valley here. Number 6 there, Dan Hemingway. As we now pick up with Walker even further along the circuit. And this is another one of the streams that the riders will negotiate. They'll ride along the length of this stream, then out on the bank, and then drop back down into it. A very tricky descent down here. A couple of little waterfalls, log section, and Walker making it look easy as he comes through. Now got to climb out of this bank, and the drop off that he's just come down as well. We didn't think many riders would be able to even go down that descent, but Walker is out, and that is race promoter Steve Ireland chasing after him as well, keeping an eye on him because he's got to get ahead of him for the flag. Another rider just coming towards us. To sure, I think that's Ben Hemingway, number 5, the next rider through in second place. brand new outing for this new outing for the brand new Beta here. And Hemingway also having a look. He's picking his lines. As I say, some very tricky waterfall sections to negotiate here. Hemingway currently in second position after Walker. We should have Renault Davis in third. Here he is, the next rider we were expecting to see. And another rider. All these riders, we were actually thinking they may have to walk down that section. Renault just getting a little bit hooked up there when he comes down into the stream section. Ooh, he's in some loose branches. Taking a different line there to the other guys. And certainly attacking this section with some gusto. Well, also making that look very, very easy there. Front wheel rather high as he comes out there. Back in the wood section we go. And riders coming through. It's going to be number 84 coming towards us, Andrew Kate, in the Clubman Veterans class. Coming through. Shaking his head as he comes through. Obviously wondering what he's let himself in for. 32 as well, just coming through, Chris Salt. And that's 41 I'm hazarding the guess at. That's Paul England. Oh, and back in this the valley is really giving us some carnage here. Riders strewn all that's on the descent section into that section. Those loose branches really catching a few riders out. That's number 20, Luke Flack, that was down there. Back underway. A couple of riders coming through along behind him. And you can see some of our top fancied riders as well in there. Number 22 there, Paul Bolton. You know, all kinds of problems there. 25 just dropping down towards us. Down that steep climb, and as the camera pans out you can just see one rider literally throwing his machine away. Number 20 that is. That's Luke Flack that we saw struggling in the stream. 25 just working his way along that water section as well, climbing out of that bank. And you can see just that part there as well. The riders as have been accelerating, digging out holes in that water section there, so getting equally as deeper there as the riders really having to gingerly pick their way through. And I can see a lot of riders, this will be the final part of their circuit for them. A lot of them really struggling in this area. That looks like number 7 Rudy Austin as well, who rode so well in the qualifier this morning in all sorts of problems. The rider starting that steep climb there, got to keep the momentum going. Of course now we've got the problem-stricken riders on that section. Just lost it there. Be very lucky to get going again from that standing start. He's certainly going to give it a go, and down he goes. Can't make out the number from this section, but a valiant effort, and I'm sure he'll go down to the bottom and give it another go. Meanwhile, a lot of riders trying to pick their way through this bracken here. Join us after the break for more action from the Sucker Punch Enduro. Well, welcome back race fans. We're watching part 3 of the Sucker Punch Enduro, brought to you by the War Events team here in the Landrillo Forest. Ooh, and one rider is coming to grief there. Number 39 I believe it was on his machine there. Didn't quite make it, but very hard to tell. As I say, if you've just joined us, the riders have taken part in a 1.5 hour cross-country event in the morning, and that meant they could qualify for this afternoon's event, which we're watching now. And it's a single lap event, extreme enduro, which is just putting some of the riders against some incredibly difficult conditions, just trying to work their way through the forest here. Hidden trench here underneath the bracken. You can see the rider there to really push That rear wheel not going anywhere at the moment. Right, they're going to have to lift the machine out. 53, I think that is. Owen Jones in the clubman class, working his way through. We've got stream crossings, some almost impossible climbs out of some of the banks that these riders are going to do, and it's against the clock as well. 48. We've got an hour to finish this event, just over an hour, and then it's a cut-off point, and that'll decide their medals. Paul England, that we saw earlier, working his way along the stream. Now he's got an incredibly steep climb ahead of him. 42, also just hovering around down there as well. Now 28 down in the stream section. Just trying to make it at the bib. That's Paul England again, working his way back up towards us. Looks like he's opted to, he's trying desperately to try and find a way out of this bank. As you can see, this section now, our rider climbing up, they've got to pick their way through fallen branches, tree stumps. Really hard to keep a good drive going there, and that's 24. That's Henry Blundell. And one of the marshals just making sure he's okay there. Not really allowed to have any outside assistance, but obviously they're there just in case of some of the riders. It is a section where they're going to fall. Number 3, that's Tom Sagar, another rider. And that's, you see some of the best. We even saw Johnny Walker have to take 2 attempts, our current race leader. So Sagar dropping back down. And there is literally no easy way out of this valley. There's that climb there, and everywhere else has been heavily forested. You can see fallen trees all around in this section. 118. Get some pointers from the marshals. And these riders, we get a lot. We've had a lot of riders come through to this section. I didn't think it when we walked the track the day before. Some very difficult conditions out there. Really did think it'd be a big test. But I think this is going to be a big stopping point for a lot of these riders, because the climb out of here absolutely brutal. I say the riders, they've already taken part in a 1.5 hour tough cross-country race this morning. So there's 32. That was Chris Salt that was stuck in the stream there, just looking for a way out. 61 as well, coming into all sorts of problems there. I think that's 24 again. Henry Blundell having another go at the hill. This will be one of the Hemingways coming down towards us. Number 6 it is. Dan Hemingway on the beta, dropping down the stream, down into the stream, making that look very, very easy. Looking really smooth as he picks his way down those waterfalls. 124 then coming to us as well. Owen Humphreys. Owen Humphreys opting to just go onto the side of the bank there. Keep out of the waterfalls, working his way down along that section on that Sherco machine. And you can see, even though it's just probably these guys doing this race under an hour, it's still incredibly grueling on the body. These guys are fighting the bikes all the way along. Very cold and wet conditions here as well. And I say the whole camp had to move up from this morning's race. 22 behind him there. 42 there, just going through. With the number 71 machine keeping him company, and another stricken rider back on that hill. That's 901. And all sorts of problems there. 41 as well. Also, and all sorts of. That's Paul England that we saw earlier. KTM mounted rider. 127 there. Just working his way, trying desperately to find a way out of this valley down there. A lot of these riders are really struggling down in this section. You can see these fallen branches and trees just swallowing the bikes. Exhausting for some of the riders down here. And the rider's going to have another go back up there. Looking for Sagar as well. Is he going to have another attack through the hill? Rider. Another fallen rider. Of course, as we were seeing earlier, as soon as you get one rider going down, blocks the line. 28 there as well, not quite making that climb up out of there. 41 England as well, getting hampered by those riders. Well, the War Events team really have raised the bar here with this event. There's something for everybody, this event, cross-country morning event, and then for those lucky enough to survive that event, they get to test their mettle against a really tough, demanding extreme enduro against the clock as well. So something completely different for these riders, and absolutely loving it as well. One rider just coming through, 31, making it through okay. Oh, and just if you've ever been in your car on a cold and frosty morning and your car doesn't start, just think how he feels stood in the middle of the stream there. That's the number 1 machine. And it doesn't look like that bike is going to fire into life. Oh, his way he goes. Bit of luck there. Back underway. And a gaggle of riders working their way down through that section, throwing the water up into the air. Just working right, trying to desperately see his number on his bib there, like number 3 or number 8 on there. If it was Alan Jones, if it was the number 8 machine, that's number 3 just coming through, right behind him. So behind Alan Jones, it was the number 3 machine. Looking at my paperwork, see if we've got him down here. Tom Sagar, of course, who we saw getting stuck on that hill, so he got past the hill section. So Sagar down into the stream section. 20 just coming through there. Minus his rear mud guard. So it looks like he's had a flip out on one of the stream sections. And that's Luke Flack. Oh, and one rider just going down there. Can't catch the number there. Number 9 just coming through. That's Andrew Edwards in the pro class, just walking his bike down that section. And some of these riders looking absolutely exhausted now. Just coming down to see who we've got there. One of the Sherco machines. They're certainly attacking that section with great gusto there. And you can see the wheel just spinning on that rock there, and tree stumps. Just everything down in this stream section. And we are at the closing stages of this run as well, so the riders must be really feeling it now. 82 just coming along the stream section, back down in the valley. And again, still more carnage on that hill. Riders trying everything they can to get up there. Just trying to keep that momentum going. Of course, once you start, I can't really see him getting going from there. You're probably better to get a clear run. And of course now we're getting stricken riders on there, and also that ground is getting really chewed up as well. Looks like he's going to have to go back down. With the camera panning out, you'll just see how long that climb is. And they're climbing over tree stumps, loose branches. One rider getting stuck right at the bottom. Number 40 it was there actually, so having a look, just coming to a halt. 31 just starting to climb up there. Another rider back down into the valley section. As I say, a lot of riders just desperately trying to find an alternative route out of there, but that's the climb they've got to get out. So for this, a lot of these riders, this could be the end of their Sucker Punch Enduro. The medals will go down as far as the to bronze, depending on where they get to at the checkpoints. It was Matt Pope, number 40, that we were looking at, and now we're just currently looking at number 72, just coming to grief on that climb. 31 there, trying to dig his machine out of that bracken there. A lot of the riders that they've tried to look for an easier way out and probably just finding this is just as hard. 123 just coming through there. Looking for a line. He's got to climb out of that stream section. 23 as well. One of our riders, I thought it would have been a little bit higher up. Another rider going for the attack on the hill. And no go there for the 119 machine. That's Sportsman rider. That's Matt Bolter. Well, we're going to be back with more carnage here at the Sucker Punch Enduro, as we leave these riders to pick their way through the fallen trees. We'll be back with the final stages here of the War Events Sucker Punch Enduro. Well, welcome back, Rage fans, as we may rejoin the action for part 4 of the Sucker Punch Enduro. Looks like we've got number 17, Aled Price, one of our expert riders, down in the final stream section. Oh, and Aled just losing the back end on that log there. You can see the branch there, very slippy. Well, if you've just joined us, the riders this morning did a qualifying race, 1.5 hours of cross-country hare and hound style race, and now we're pitted into a brutal one-lap event. They've just got just over an hour to complete this lap, and they've literally been battling away now for conditions like this. A lot of stream crossings, loose rocks, fallen trees, incredibly steep climbs. As our riders now coming towards the closing stages. I think that's Ben Wibberley on the Husqvarna, just working his way down that stream section. Not too sure who that was on the Sherco behind him, but he's getting absolutely filled in there by Wibberley, and he's probably already soaked, and that's probably really not enjoying that at all. That's 21 that we saw earlier, Biff Smith. So Biff doing really well to get this far on this one. Behind Biff Smith, 27, that's Calum Hicks. Ooh, Biff just getting a bit of trouble picking his way through the rocks there. Fantastic job. Anyway, back in the valley, and this is the place that has been really seeing a lot of carnage here, as we're looking at number 77, Ross Davis, one of our younger riders. 78 there, Stephen Parry. Stephen Parry really attacking that stream section, and of course once you get through here, where we've got number 81 having a go, it's a big climb out of there, very difficult. We've got fallen branches, tree stumps, everything just thrown up there, and almost an impossible climb. We've even seen our current race leader Johnny Walker, one of the top riders in the world, have to take 2 goes at it, and also did Tom Sagar as well, the number 3 machine. Another rider just trying to find that traction, not even a quarter of a way up there. The wheels just spinning on the loose branches. 119 here, Matt Bolter, just finding it almost impossible, just throwing his bike down through the bracken. Can't even wheel his bike through that section. So Matt Bolter just tipping his bike end over end, trying to get it to the bottom. And several other riders there joining him in there, 112 being one of them. I say, very tricky conditions here. And again, even on that descent, you can see those roots. The earlier riders probably didn't have it so bad, but you can see they're getting really polished now, can easily take out the front wheel. Number 80 being one of them. Looks, I think it's 80 or 86 on his bib there. Number 53 gingerly picking his way through past them. Whether they'll get much further than this section, because the climb out of here, very difficult indeed. Owen Jones, it was 53. So these guys will probably be bronze finishers if they don't get past this. Oh, just going down there on the climb out of that stream. Yes, 53 it is, that's Owen Jones. Number 86, I think we've got there. That's Barry Boosted. Barry just working his way along the stream, and then he's got that incredibly difficult climb out of here to deal with as well. So Barry just getting through that stream section. Now I'll get to the point where it starts to climb. Camera panning out, you can see stricken riders just coming down into the valley now. That turn now on that hill now has really started to polish those routes. So as you can see, there are more and more riders come down. The conditions just get trickier and trickier for our riders. 74 just there as well, just dropping through. One rider just really taking, was it 74 75? 37, I'm not too sure if he's rescuing his bike or burying it there. That's 37, I think it is. Stephen Norbury getting his bike back underway. Number 12, we're back with our front runners over the far side of the circuit. These guys should be heading, is it number 6? Yeah, number 12 it is. So, working his way down the stream section. That's Rudy Austin, the number 7 machine. Getting through that section okay. It was Sam Ludgate, number 12 that I was looking at earlier. I was looking for on my paperwork. And you can see the riders trying. Oh, just getting hooked up there on that route. I'm trying to look at his number 90, I believe we got on his machine there. Just looking to see if he's going to be on one of our gold finishers. A couple more riders, one going for the walking option, and also got a radiator shroud guard there hanging off the front of the machine as well, picking his way through. 37 is at Norbury. Steve Norbury still trying to get his bike extracted from that section, as well as we're looking at those other riders. Number 53 there is coming to grief on that hill. Steve Norbury again, trying everything again. He's completely buried there amongst the branches and the bracken. He really is in there, stuck there. He's been stuck for some time now, trying to watch him get out of that section. 49 just working his way. Working his way along the stream section. So this valley is really, you can see our rider really breathing heavily there as his machine's smoking away, kicking his bike now. He's had enough. He's going to kick the bike down the hill. Bikes in all sides. One rider just literally dragging it down. Well, this event really has lived up to its name. It really has dealt these riders a sucker punch. They've got through the qualifying race this morning, which was a pretty tough hare and hounds event, and then they've got through this one, taking on a pretty normal extreme event. This has really tested some of the riders to their limit here, and you can see some of these riders now, exhaustion starting to show on these riders. 113 there as well, another rider trying to dig his bike out of that bracken there. It's almost bottomless there. Just can't get the drive to get through it. So these guys are literally carrying and manhandling their bikes all the way through here. Steve Norbury's finally got his machine dug out, so Norbury back underway. I probably spoke too soon. It looks like he's got stuck again. He's probably going to hate us for concentrating on his efforts there. Our leaders, though, are probably going to be our gold finishers. They've really got to this part of the section now. This string crossing equally as brutal as the rest of the circuit, but at least they're getting through. Number 14, that is, on the front of his machine. So I would be thinking that these guys will be definitely going on for a gold finish if they've got this far. That was Neil Thomas. Possibly going to be a silver finisher there, Neil Thomas. Number 50. Oh, just getting it wrong there. Taking a dip in the bath there. Number 50 there, just coming to grief. That's Robert Hughes. Well, when we were walking the circuit with race promoter Steve Ireland, we were probably only expecting 7 or 8 riders to get this far. So, it just how much these riders have really dug deep, wanting to finish the event, and it is putting on a fantastic effort from these riders. As you can see, some of the conditions they've had to deal with. One rider there, I'm not too sure if he's just giving up or taking a breather. But these riders, there is a cut-off point, so they'll be scored on the checkpoints they get through to. 113 still battling away with that machine there. All sorts of problems. Turning to be a bit of a nightmare day for him. That's Harry Cave, 113, 48 there as well. And you can see the riders just look absolutely exhausted waiting for this to come to an end. Looks like these guys are all going to be settling further down on the medal orders. You can see the bikes and having to just literally drag them through that bracken section. But here we go. This is at the finish. This is going to be the climb out. This is Johnny Walker. Under 48 minutes he's taken to do this lap. And here he goes. Johnny Walker. Heads up. The champagne is made ready. Next rider's going to be coming through. That's going to be Hemingway. Oh, and just hitting that ditch really, really hard there. Ben Hemingway. Number 5 starting to climb out.
Got quite a good start, got the whole shot at the start, and then picked my way through there, caught up the front group. Got a few rocks thrown at me on the tracks. Just managed to get up everything once and get away, really. Just quite a clean ride. Got to the streams and just took it nice and steady, because there's no point rushing and crashing and making it worse. And just, yeah, it's been a fantastic day. I've actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been tough, you know. There's a lot of things where like you could make a lot of mistakes and lose time, but you know, luckily I rode like steady, so I didn't make too many mistakes.
Well, as we see a smiling Johnny Walker, it was to be a short-lived moment, as when his card was checked, it was found that he had missed checkpoint 2. This would lift Ben Hemingway to the top of the results, with Reynolds Davis second and Dan Hemingway in third.
To see 20 is great. There's 110 started, qualified, so we've lost 90. You know, out there. So that, well, we haven't lost 90. Obviously, they've got a bronze or they've got a silver along the way. But actually getting to where we deem the finish, you know, I think it's been a very fair race.